Good morning, aspirants. Welcome back to Daily Current Affairs Analysis by Civic Center IAS, where we shall discuss important relevant articles from the UPSC CSE Prelims context. Displayed are the topics which we'll be discussing today. Well, let's begin. The first article says that the Supreme Court on Monday said that Article 200 of the Constitution dealing with the governor's powers to withhold or give assent to the bills passed by the state legislature expects the governor to communicate to the state the reasons for withholding the assent. Now, well, in this context, let's talk about the constitutional provisions on assent to the state bills. First, let's talk about the Article 200 of the Indian Constitution, where the governor has four options. Let's go through them one by one. See, first, the governor may grant the assent, meaning they approve the bill and it officially becomes the law. Second, the governor may withhold the assent, which means they reject the bill and it does not become the law. Third, the governor has the power to return the bill for the reconsideration. That means they may send it back to the state legislature with suggested changes. However, here's an important point. If the legislature passes the bill again without any changes, then the governor is bound to give the assent. And finally, the governor may reserve the bill for the president's assent. This means this usually happens when the bill contradicts with the constitution, which affects the powers of the High Court or goes against the central laws. And now, once a bill is reserved for the president's consideration, now under Article 201, the president has two options. First is give assent, allowing the bill to become law, or he also have the other thing is that withhold of assent or direct reconsideration. That means he sends it back to the state legislature, and even if repassed, the president is not obligated to give the assent. Now, moving to the next article, it says that several retired Indian Forest Service officers have sent a representation to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi opposing the 10,000-acre Aravali Safari Park project in Gurugram and No, saying that the primary purpose should be conservation and restoration and not the destruction. Now, well, in this context, let's talk about the Aravali Biodiversity Park. Know that the Aravali Biodiversity Park is situated in Gurugram, Haryana and represents a unique semi-arid ecosystem filled with native trees, shrubs and bird species. But did you know that this green paradise was once a barren wasteland? Yes, previously this area was a 40-year-old mining site that had been left degraded due to extensive quarrying. However, through the dedicated efforts of citizens, ecologists, scientists and Municipal Corporation of Gurugram, the site was successfully restored into what is now called a city forest. So, in recognition of its exceptional biodiversity value, the Aravali Biodiversity Park was declared India's first OECM site under the International Union for Conservation of Nature, in short, the IUCN. But what exactly does an OECM tag means? Know that the other effective area-based conservation measures, in short the OECM tag, is given to geographically defined areas that, although not legally designated as protected zones like national parks or wildlife sanctuaries, still achieve effective in situ biodiversity conservation. And this designation is awarded by the IUCN and applies to the areas that support rich biodiversity even though they may not be formally protected under the national laws. Further, one of the most interesting aspects of OECM tag is that it does not impose any legal, financial or management obligations on the designated area. Instead, it serves to recognize and highlight the conservation efforts on the global stage. Significantly, this recognition helps in bringing global attention to the conservation efforts, encouraging long-term ecological sustainability, and raising awareness about the importance of protecting biodiversity outside the traditional protected areas. Now, moving to the next article, it says that the first prototype of the country's 5th generation fighter jet, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, or in short the AMCA, is expected to be rolled out by the end of the year 2026 or early 2027, while the first prototype of the Light Combat Aircraft Mk2, which is a bigger and more capable version of the LCA, is expected by the end of this year, said by the officials of Aeronautical Development Agency. Now, in this context, let's talk about the Light Combat Aircraft Mk2 and also the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft. Now, Firstly, talking about the LCA Mk2, that is the Light Combat Aircraft Mk2. This is the 4.5 generation multi-role fighter aircraft which is designed to replace the Mirage 2000 class and is being developed under the Aeronautical Development Agency with the Hindustan Aeronautical Limited as a principal partner. Now, compared to its predecessor, the LCA Mk1, the Mk2 features major structural enhancement being 1350 longer and incorporating canards for better agility and also the aerodynamic performance. And one of the most groundbreaking advancements is its integration of the onboard oxygen generation system, making it the first Indian fighter aircraft to include this feature. And also additionally, the LCA Mk2 will be capable of carrying heavy standoff weapons including the Scalp, Crystal Mage and Spice 2000, significantly enhancing its combat effectiveness. Now, another key improvement is its increased payload capacity of 6500 kg, notable upgrade from 3500 kg capacity of the LCA Mk1, making it a formidable ascent in the air combat. And on the other hand, we have the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, which is India's first 5th generation Sleeter fighter jet, focusing on the sleek and advanced warfare, unlike the LCA series, which prioritizes the maneuverability. Interestingly, the AMCA, that is the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, is designed with a low radar cross-section achieved through its unique shape and internal carriage of weapons, allowing it to operate in sleek mode even when external weapons are removed. So, this design enables the aircraft to retain enough fuel and internal weaponry for sustained combat missions, making it an ideal choice for the modern aerial warfare. And also, the AMCA will be developed in two variants. First, AMCA Mk1 and AMCA Mk2. That is, the Mk1 variant will initially feature an imported engine similar to the one used in the LCA Mk2. Now, whereas Mk2 variant will be powered by an indigenous engine, marking a significant step towards India's self-reliance in the military aviation. Now, a key highlight of the AMCA program is its manufacturing and production model, which will be handled through a special purpose vehicle involving the private industry participation. Now, moving to the next article, the France will be the center of artificial intelligence debate with the official beginning of the 3rd edition of the AI Action Summit in its capital, Paris. And also, the India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to co-chair the Paris Summit. Now, in this context, let's talk about the AI Action Summit 2025. Know that AI Action Summit 2025 is scheduled to take place in Paris on February 10 and 11 at the iconic Grand Palace. And this event is co-chaired by the France and India and will bring together leaders from nearly 100 countries and over 1,000 participants from the private sector, research institution and also the civil society. But why is the summit so significant? See, the AI Action Summit 2025 builds on the advances made in the Bletchley Park Summit in the November 2023 and also the Seoul Summit in the May 2024. And these earlier summits focused on AI safety, transparency, governance, laying the groundwork for stronger global cooperation. And also, this Paris Summit has 3 major objectives. First, it aims to provide access to independent, safe, and reliable AI to a wide range of users. Second, it focuses on the development of AI models that are environmental friendly and also ensuring the AI contributes to the sustainability. And lastly, it seeks to establish a global AI governance framework that is both effective and also inclusive. So, to achieve these goals, the summit discussions will be structured around 5 key focus areas. Now let's explore them one by one. First, we have the public service AI, which explores how artificial intelligence can transform healthcare and also education and governance to better serve the communities worldwide. Second, the future of work will be a crucial topic as AI is already reshaping the jobs, industries, and skill development. And also, the summit will focus on strategies to prepare the workforce for an AI-driven economy. Thirdly, innovation and culture will take the center stage. As AI is not just about automation, it is also enhancing creativity and cultural expression in fields like art, music, and filmmaking. Fourth, ensuring the trust in AI is very vital as the discussions will address how AI systems can be developed ethically, minimizing bias and risk while maintaining transparency and also the accountability. Finally, the global governance of AI will be the critical theme. With AI evolving rapidly, international policies and regulations are also needed to ensure AI development aligns with the ethical standards, security needs, and also the global cooperation. Now, let's move to the next article. It is about the Pradhan Mantri Virasit Ka Samvardhan scheme, in short, the PM-VIKAS scheme. Now, in this context, let's talk about the PM-VIKAS scheme. See, the Pradhan Mantri Virasit Ka Samvardhan scheme, that is the PM-VIKAS, formerly known as Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Ko Kaam Karyakramam, is a central sector scheme which is implemented by the Ministry of Minority Affairs. And the primary objective of the scheme is to enhance the livelihoods of minorities, particularly the artisan communities, by focusing on skill development, education, women leadership, and also the entrepreneurship. Significantly, it also aims to boost the incomes, create market linkages, and facilitate access to credit for the beneficiaries. And it was approved under the 15th Finance Commission period, where the scheme is structured around four key components. One is the skill and training, the other is the leadership and entrepreneurship, and the next is the education, and lastly the infrastructure development. And the scheme also integrates 5 earlier schemes of the ministry, namely Sikor Kamo Ustad, that means the upgrading the skills and training in traditional arts or crafts for the development. And the next is Hamadi Darohar, Nai Roshan, and Nai Manzil. Now, moving to the next article. On the occasion of World Epilepsy Day, the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, Union Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment organized various awareness programs across the country. And the objective of these initiatives was to dispel the myths surrounding the epilepsy and also promote the effective management and enhance awareness about the available treatment options. Now, in this context, let's briefly talk about epilepsy. But before that, on February 10, 2025, the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities under the Ministry of Social Justice and Development organized several awareness programs across India to mark the World Epilepsy Day. Significantly, the program highlighted the effective management techniques and raised awareness about the treatment options of the epilepsy. Now, let's talk about the epilepsy in brief. See, epilepsy is a chronic neurological disorder that affects nearly 50 million people worldwide, making it one of the most common neurological diseases. It is characterized by the recurrent seizures, which can range from mild muscle jerks to severe convulsions and also the loss of consciousness. And the causes of epilepsy vary and can be structural, genetical, infectious, metabolic, immune-related, and also unknown. And some of the common causes include brain trauma, genetic conditions, strokes, brain infections like meningitis and neurocysticercosis, and also the brain tumors. Additionally, head injuries, infections, and strokes can also increase the likelihood of developing epilepsy, and in low and middle income countries, environmental factors contribute to a higher incidence of cases. Further, the symptoms of epilepsy depend on the type of seizure but may also include the loss of awareness, movement disturbances, sensory disruptions, mood changes, and cognitive impairments. Further, these seizures can also lead to physical injuries like fractures and bruises, while many individuals with epilepsy suffer from psychological conditions such as anxiety and depression. But fortunately, effective treatment options exist, and studies show that up to 70% of the people with epilepsy can achieve seizure control using anti-seizure medications. However, the treatment gap remains wide in low-income countries where less than 50% of people have access to these essential medications. For the patients who do not respond to medication, surgical options are also available, and many cases of epilepsy can be diagnosed and treated even at the primary healthcare centers, ensuring the broader access to care. Now, well, moving to the next article, it is about the measuring the pulse of Indian education. See, the Union Budget 2025-2026 has introduced several key initiatives aimed at making India's education system smarter, more inclusive, and also the future ready. As such, one of the standout programs is the Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak scheme. It focuses on providing digital Indian language books for both school and higher education, ensuring students can learn subjects in their native languages for better comprehension. And also, another major announcement is the establishment of 5 national centers of excellence for skilling, which will partner with the global institutions to improve the curriculum design, trainer training, and also the certification process. And this initiative aligns with the government's broader vision of equipping youth with industry-related skills to bridge the skill gap and create employment opportunities. Similarly, the expansion of IITs aim to enhance the infrastructure in the institutes established after the year 2014, accommodating an additional 6,500 students, thereby strengthening the technical education ecosystem. And also, another futuristic step is the setting up of a Center of Excellence in AI for Education, with a budget allocation of Rs 500 crore aimed at integrating the artificial intelligence into the education sector. And this move aligns with the global technological trends, preparing the students and educators for an AI-driven world. And now, the expansion of the medical education is the another crucial focus, with 10,000 additional medical seats to be added in the next year, contributing to a long-term goal of 75,000 new seats in the next 5 years. And this expansion directly addresses India's growing healthcare demands and strengthens the medical education and workforce infrastructure. And next, in terms of enrollment trends, primary education has seen a gross enrollment ratio of nearly 100%, that is approximately 93%, while efforts continue to improve enrollment in secondary and higher secondary education. And also, the higher education enrollment has risen by 26.5% from the year 2014-2015 to 2021-2022, with 4.33 crore students enrolled in the year 2021-2022. And it is a remarkable achievement has been the 32% raise in the female enrollment, particularly in the medical science and social sciences, reflecting efforts towards the gender equality in education as outlined in the National Education Policy 2020. And further, the dropout rates have been also declined significantly, with primary school dropout rates dropping to 1.9% and the upper primary to 5.2% and the secondary to 14.1%, indicating the success of education policies aimed at inclusivity and also the quality learning. And the next, if we come to the growth of higher education institutions, it has been significant, with a 13.8% increase from 51,534 in 2024-2025 to 58,643 in the year 2022-2023, making education more accessible and diverse. The medical education sector has been seeing rapid expansion, with number of medical colleges rising from 499 in financial year 19 to 780 in financial year 25, and MBBS seats has been increasing from 70,000 to nearly 1 lakh in the same period, reinforcing India's healthcare infrastructure. And also similarly, the growth of IITs and IIMs has been notable, with its IITs increasing from 16 in 2014 to 23 in the year 2023 and IIMs expanding from 13 to 20 during the same period. And also, the number of universities has grown by 59.96% from 723 in the year 2014 to 1,213 in the year 2024. Showcasing the government's commitment to inclusive and higher education expansion. Furthermore, there are improvements in school infrastructure, libraries, and reading rooms. Additionally, the integration of technology in education has seen progress, with computers in schools increasing. And these advancements align with the NEP's 2020 goals, that is the National Education Policy 2020 goals, enhancing learning outcomes and digital accessibility across the schools. Overall, the Union Budget 2025-2026 focus on education highlights a strong commitment to the quality learning, skill development and technological integration, paving the way for a more inclusive and future-ready education system in India. The next article is that Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare Shri Jagat Prakash Nadda launched the annual nationwide mass drug administration campaign for the lymphatic filariasis elimination through a video conference with the state health ministers and also the senior officials of 13 identified LF endemic states here today. Now, in this context, let's talk about the lymphatic filariasis. See, it is commonly known as the elephantiasis, which is a debilitating and disfiguring disease caused by the parasitic worms from the Filariasis family, and it is transmitted through the bites of infected mosquitoes, which introduce microscopic larvae into the human body. And these larvae gradually migrate to the lymphatic system, where they mature into the adult worms, causing severe inflammation and also the dysfunction of the lymphatic system. And over the time, this damage leads to visible symptoms such as limb swelling, that is the lymphoedema, hydrocolly, that is the scrotal swelling, and also the elephantiasis, which can significantly impair an individual's quality of life. Globally, over 120 million people across 72 countries, primarily in the tropical and subtropical regions of Asia, Africa, the Western Pacific, and the Caribbean, are affected by this disease. And the condition not only causes the physical disabilities but also imposes significant social and economic burdens, particularly in the endemic regions. The disease presents itself in three primary clinical forms. The first is acute attacks, where individuals experience fever, chills, local pain and swelling, often aggravated by the secondary bacterial infections. These recurring episodes further worsen the lymphatic damage and push the disease towards the more severe stages. Now, the second manifestation is the lymphoedema or elephantiasis, which is characterized by swelling of limbs, particularly in the lower extremities, leading to restricted mobility and physical disabilities, which are common in women. And the third major form is the hydrocolly, where fluid accumulation in the scrotum causes swelling, leading to significant discomfort and reduced quality of life for the affected individuals. Interestingly, the initial infection often occurs in childhood, but visible symptoms may not appear for years or even decades. Even in cases where no outward symptoms are present, the parasites continue to damage the lymphatic system, kidneys, and immune system, leading to the long-term health complications. But fortunately, there are several treatments and management options available to control the disease. Like the antifilarial drug treatment plays a critical role in eliminating microfilariae larvae from the bloodstream, although targeting the adult worms remain more challenging. Medications such as diethylcarbamazine and albendazole are commonly used to reduce transmission rates and manage the infection. However, for those who develop severe complications, additional care is necessary. And a key aspect of managing lymphatic filariasis is the morbidity management and disability prevention, which involves basic hygiene practices, skincare, and therapeutic exercises to prevent the secondary infections and slow disease progression. And in case of hydrococele, surgical intervention such as hydrocolectomy may be required to alleviate discomfort and also to restore the functions. Moreover, providing psychological and socioeconomic support is crucial for the affected individuals, helping them integrate into the education, employment, and also the healthcare systems. And at a broader level, community-based strategies play a vital role in reducing the social stigma, educating the public, and promoting the rehabilitation programs for those already affected. Now, moving. See, one of the most effective strategies for controlling lymphatic filariasis is the preventive chemotherapy, particularly through the mass drug administration campaigns. This approach involves administering antifilarial drugs at the community level, which helps to eliminate the microfilariae from the bloodstream and disrupts the transmission cycle by mosquitoes. And by implementing this mass drug administration in endemic regions, many countries have successfully reduced infection rates and are progressing towards the eliminating lymphatic filariasis as a public health concern. The last article is that the last month was the hottest January on record, with the global average surface air temperature being the 1.75 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level set by the Europe's Copernicus Climate Change Service. Now, well, in this context, let's talk about the La Nina. See, La Nina is a key phase of El Nino Southern Oscillation, that is ENSO, which is a climate phenomena that significantly impacts global weather patterns. ENSO has three distinct phases. One is El Nino, that is the warm phase, La Nina, that is the cool phase, and the neutral phase. While El Nino leads to the warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the eastern Pacific, contributing to the global warming, La Nina is typically associated with the cooler than normal sea surface temperatures, which generally have a cooling effect on the global temperatures. However, despite being in a La Nina phase in the early 2025, global temperatures remained elevated, raising concerns about the effectiveness of natural climate variations in counteracting the human-induced climate change. And well, one of the main reasons La Nina did not significantly cool global temperatures in January 2025 is because the ongoing La Nina phase has been relatively weak. Originally expected to begin in September 2024, La Nina only emerged in December 2024, which meant there was insufficient time for it to strengthen and influence global climate patterns. Typically, La Nina phases peak during the Northern Hemisphere winter, but because this event was delayed, its overall impact was weaker than usual. Furthermore, high greenhouse gas concentrations have continued to trap heat in the atmosphere, overriding any potential cooling effect of La Nina. And by the year 2024, greenhouse gases levels has reached record highs, maintaining elevated global temperatures despite the La Nina's presence. Additionally, the reduction of aerosols, that is the tiny particles in the atmosphere that scatter sunlight and contribute to cooling, has further limited La Nina's effect. And also, stricter air pollution control measures have resulted in the cleaner air, meaning fewer aerosols are present to offset the global warming. Another important factor is the regional variation of La Nina's impact. While the La Nina generally brings cooler conditions, its effects are not uniform across the globe. Depending on the local climate systems and atmospheric interactions, some regions may still experience the warmer temperatures despite the cooling trend expected from the La Nina. And these findings have serious implications for the climate science and policy. The fact that La Nina failed to significantly cool global temperatures in early 2025 suggests that the natural cooling mechanisms may no longer be strong enough to counterbalance global warming trends. And this indicates a concerning shift in climate dynamics where human-induced climate change is overpowering the natural temperature variations. Experts warn that the only viable solution to mitigate rising temperatures is through drastic reductions in greenhouse gas emissions. With the greenhouse gases concentrations at the highest levels ever recorded in the year 2024, climate scientists emphasize that relying on natural climatic cycles like La Nina will not be enough to slow down the global warming. The urgent need for sustainable policies, renewable energy adoption, and also the emission reduction strategies have never been clear. Now, well, that concludes today's daily current affairs analysis, and we'll be back tomorrow with another video. Thank you.